I, Chair Thomas Kyle, call a first hybrid electrical and elevator board meeting of May 26, 2022 to order at 9:30 a.m. Debbie, would you call the roll?
Yes, sir. Chair Thomas Kyle.
Here.
Vice Chair John Flagel is absent, excused. William Barlow.
Here.
Amy Byer.
Here.
Elizabeth Bunga.
Here.
Sarah Curry.
Here.
Rob McNeil.
Here.
Ryan Richards.
Here.
Richard Rudder is excused. Al Shecker. Al? I don't see him on board here. Randy Smith. Randy, you're muted.
There you go. Here.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, we just have a quorum.
Okay, thank you, Debbie. Are there any changes to the agenda or order of business? If there are none, I, Chair Kyle, rule that the agenda and order of business approved. Any changes to the draft minutes? Any comments? Chair Kyle ruled that the draft minutes of March 24, 2022 is final. The date of the next meeting is July 28, 2022. Andy, would you address any public comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Andy Bolton, Senior Policy Advisor with the Division. We've not received any requests for general public comment this morning, and we don't have anyone signed up on the registration list. We're going to hold the line open virtually here for just a second in case there is someone on the line that has not had a chance to sign up for general public comment but would like to give general public comment. And so if you are on the line and you have not had a chance to sign up but would like to speak to the board now, go ahead and speak up. All right. Hearing none, Mr. Chair, that concludes the public comment agenda item.
Okay, agenda item 3A, proposed consent orders. Michael?
Good morning, Chair, members of the board. For the record, my name is Michael Mayorga Hamilton, contested case representative for the division. Before the board is a summary of consent orders recently negotiated by the division on behalf of the board. We've entered into consent agreements in 3 cases since our last meeting. All settlements, including the amount owed and suspended civil penalties, fall within the guidelines on the matrix, and they contain the standard conditions. The first case on the agenda is C-2020-19 in the matter of Martin Randall Witcherly, DBA Randy Witcherly Construction. The respondent in this case was assessed a penalty of $6,000 because the respondent performed electrical installations without the following: a journeyman or supervising electrician license, an electrical license, an electrical contractor's license, and a electrical permit. Respondent has agreed to pay $750 with the remaining $5,250 suspended. Second case on the agenda is C-2021-50 in the matter of Left Coast Electrical. Respondent in this case was assessed a penalty of $3,000 because the respondent performed electrical installations without a valid electrical contractor's license. Respondent has agreed to pay $250 with the remaining $2,750 suspended. The third case on the agenda is C-2021-92 in the matter of David Merle Stevens. The respondent in this case was assessed a penalty of $3,000 for assisting or failing to prevent apprentices from performing electrical work for which they were not properly licensed. Respondent has agreed to pay $250 with the remaining $2,750 suspended. Please, I'd be happy to answer any questions if there are any. And a motion is required on this item.
I would like to make a motion to adopt the 3 cases as proposed for the resolution as outlined in the enforcement board and issue final orders.
Okay. A motion has been made to accept the recommendations of the committee. All in favor, Debbie, would you call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Chair. William Barlow,
Aye.
Amy Byer,
Aye.
Elizabeth Bunga,
Aye.
Sarah Curry,
Aye.
Rob McNeil,
Aye.
Ryan Richards,
Aye.
Al Shucker.
Aye.
Thank you, Al, and he has joined, obviously. Randy Smith,
Aye.
Chair Thomas Kyle.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, the motion passes, the motion passes unanimously.
Okay, agenda item 3B, electrical program update, Keith Anderson.
Mr. Chair.
Excuse me.
I believe we do have some default orders that we'd just like to make the board aware of. No action is required on these.
Right? Please continue.
Okay, thank you. The first default order is C 2020-86, and that's in the matter of Langenberg Technologies. Respondent in this case is assessed a penalty of $6,000 for performing electrical installations without an electrical contractor's license, allowing unlicensed electrical workers to perform electrical installations, and for failing to obtain electrical permit. And then the second default on the agenda is C 2020-80 in the matter of Alika T. Chong. The respondent in this case was assessed a penalty of $6,000 for performing electrical installations without the supervision, direction, and control of a supervising electrician, also for failing to have an electrical contractor's license, and for failing to obtain an electrical permit. And that concludes the defaults.
And that does not require a motion?
No, it does not, Chair.
I would like to ask a question to the chair. Can you explain why these are default orders and maybe for some new members?
Sure. So these are cases where we send out a notice and there's no reply back. They have 20 days within to respond and request a hearing. And they're made aware that if they don't respond, then it will go to default and the full penalty will be issued against them.
Okay, that's the difference between some suspended fees and,
Correct. Those are negotiated.
thank you.
Yep.
Thank
So,
you.
just to be clear, this is the end of process for them? Now you go collect?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It is.
Right. Anything else, Michael?
That is all.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Keith, item 3B, electrical program update.
Good morning, Keith Anderson, Electrical Program Chief. So I have a couple things this morning. We do have 3 new tests in the supervisor test bank now, so there's a total of 7 in there. The committee's, doing a great job with that. It's a big task to go through all of those tests and clean them up and get them prepared. So we're making good progress on that. And then I wanted to follow up, there were some questions on the reciprocal licenses that we have. And so there are currently 7 in place, Arkansas, Idaho, Maine, Montana, Utah, Washington, and Wyoming. And then we have 2 supervising reciprocal with Arkansas and Utah. And just some numbers on how much these are being used. I just thought that was interesting that, so in 2020, we had a total of 284 get reciprocal licenses for the journeyman, and 179 of those were from Washington State alone, 59 were from Idaho, and then just a few from the rest of the jurisdictions, or the states rather. In 2021, we had a total of 261 And it was the same type of breakdown, Washington being the most and Idaho coming in with 57, and then just, a handful in each of the other states. The 2022, so far we've had 118. And again, Idaho and Washington are the two largest reciprocants of that. So the supervisor licenses, 2020 we had a total of 14, 5 from Arkansas, 9 from Utah. 2021 we had a total of 13, 2 from Arkansas, 11 from Utah. And 2022 we had 11 so far. Arkansas had 7 and Utah 4. So it's mainly the states right adjacent to us that are using this process, to work on both sides of the border. This came up with the Arkansas. I think the concern was that how well they lined up with us. And Arkansas, we are the only state that they have reciprocity for the supervisor's license. So talking with their program chief there, I felt that their standards are high, as ours are here. They do offer online, or it'd be online testing through, and they've been doing it since 2019. It's through a business called PROV, and they watch the room. There's no one can be involved in the room. If they look at their watch during the testing, it shows it as an incident. It's very highly regulated when the tests are going on, and it looks very secure what they're doing there. So anyway, wanted to get back to the board on that reciprocity process, and if you had any questions or anything,
No, I just had some questions, and I think they're all answered as far as, states licensing requirements meeting all of ours, and that we were keeping up to date with that, and because some of those have been on the books for quite a while. So I appreciate all the effort you and staff did for that. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I didn't see anything to be concerned with. So in my research,
I appreciate it.
But Keith, are these temporary licenses? Do they have a restriction on how long they're valid for?
so the reciprocity is just a path to get a journeyman license. So once they get it, it's just like any other, just like a regular journeyman license that we would have. So they fall under the same rules. It's just another path.
Yeah. Do the supervisors have to work in the state?
So that is part of the requirement for any of the reciprocity licenses, that they're required to put in 6 months or 1,000 hours to be able to get to reciprocate. So it's and that's found in our rules.
And once they have the Oregon license, are they required to work in Oregon at all?
Once they have. Yeah, once they have an Oregon license, no. It would be just like if they got it through testing.
Okay, thank you.
And there's steps in place, so they can't just reciprocate through states and add up licenses. I don't know why anybody would do that, but.
Yeah, you can't reciprocate on a reciprocal license, so there are some restrictions, and again, that's found in our rule.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for Keith.
Sure.
Hi, Keith. It's Elizabeth over at Clackamas County. I was wondering if you have any statistics or keep any track on who has passed the EI certification to become an electrical inspector.
I don't have that information in front of me, but we can certainly get it through licensing, can get that information.
Okay. Any other questions for Keith? All right, thank you. Item 3C, elevator program update. Warren Hartung.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. For the record, Warren Hartung, Chief of the Elevator Safety Program. It's another beautiful day. Clouds overhead. I'm feeling at home. I have nothing really unusual to report today, aside from the fact I have one inspector retiring at the end of the month. And we have applications out for a new inspector, and we're in process of trying to put that in place the first week, probably the second week in June. Outside of that, it's the same ships sailing the same direction and nobody's sinking. So we're happy for that.
Okay. Any questions for Warren? All right, thank you. Item
Thank
4, communications, Todd Smith.
Good morning, Chair Kyle, members of the board. Todd Smith, Policy Manager here with the division. I just want to give you a quick update on the rulemaking that we're doing on our electrical vehicle charging station infrastructure requirements. The rule language is in your board package. These rules were reviewed by the structural board and approved for rulemaking. So we're in that process. The intent there was to keep the trigger and the requirement in the structural code, but then leave the electoral code free to make any changes or anything that you feel you need to adopt through the code side and the code process through your board. So there shouldn't be any changes to the electrical code in here. That's the way it's scoped, but that's where we are. And then as part of that process, we're also updating another rule. You'll see it's 918-305-0030, where there's some other triggers in our rules that provide some pointers to other areas that might impact electrical installations. So that's what we're doing here, and it's going to replace the existing electrical parking pilot program that we have in place. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
And when will this be completed?
We're looking for a July 1 implementation date on the rule itself.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, 5, there's no appeals for this meeting and there's no unfinished business. Item 7, new business. Andy?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Andy Bolton, Senior Policy Advisor with the division. In April, the CE Committee reviewed 26 applications from 13 organizations. 13 courses were recommended for approval and 5 courses were not recommended for approval. 7 instructors were recommended for approval and 1 instructor was not recommended for approval. The applications are detailed and under the matrix in your board packet, and this item will require a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the committee recommendations for approval or denial of courses or instructors.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded to approve the recommendation as presented. Debbie, would you call the roll?
Yes, sir. William Barlow,
Aye.
Amy Byer,
Aye.
Elizabeth Bunga,
Aye.
Sarah Curry,
Aye.
Rob McNeil,
Aye.
Ryan Richards,
Aye.
Al Shucker,
Aye.
Randy Smith,
Aye.
and Chair Thomas Kyle.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, the motion passes unanimously.
Anything else, Andy, that we need to deal with?
Nope.
Okay, item 8, since this is the first hybrid electrical and elevator board meetings, with some of us in person and some on virtual, are there any suggestions on ways to improve from anybody online or anybody in the room?
Hello, Chair. I would like to make a suggestion or
Okay.
or at least get some guidance on if we're virtual, what is the method for us to, I mean, I raised my hand in the virtual reaction feature. If I wanted to speak up, what is the guide there?
I'm sorry, luckily, Lena was able to see your hand. The screen that I'm facing is blank.
Okay.
So I can't see that. I'm not sure what the criteria will be. I guess I finally saw a hand when I turned my head, but I don't know if there's any suggestions on how to make that. I guess just speak up and we'll try to recognize you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Right. So that's item 9 is adjournment. There's no further business. The electrical board meeting of May 26th, 2022 is adjourned at 9:51. Thank you all.
Thank you.